Welcome to the birthplace of Chinese civilization, a time full of mystery, but with clues from the past. We travel way back in time to the Yellow River, where we hear stories of a kingdom from long ago, the Shang Dynasty. The Shang, unlike the people before them, left us more than just stories. They left behind things made of bronze, bone, and jade, the first real proof of a true kingdom in Chinese history. Appearing from a time before history, the Shang Dynasty, around 1600 BCE, was a super important time in Chinese history. This era marked the beginning of a sophisticated and organized society that laid the groundwork for future Chinese civilizations. The Shang Dynasty wasn't just a fleeting moment in history, it was a period of significant advancements and cultural development. They weren't just a few small villages, but a smart group of people with leaders, a growing city, and, most importantly, writing. The Shang people developed a complex social structure and a centralized government that managed various aspects of daily life, from agriculture to trade. Their cities were bustling hubs of activity, showcasing their architectural prowess and urban planning skills. These oracle bones, as we call them, weren't just foretelling the future, but they show us what the Shang Dynasty was really like. The inscriptions on these bones provide a glimpse into their religious practices, political decisions, and even their concerns about natural disasters and military campaigns. They serve as a written record of the thoughts and actions of the Shang rulers and their people. Through these special objects, we learn about their ceremonies, their government, and even their worries about what would happen next. The Shang Dynasty placed great importance on rituals and ceremonies, which were integral to their culture and governance. These artifacts reveal the sophistication of their administrative systems and the complexity of their societal norms. The Shang Dynasty did more than just write things down. They were great at making things from bronze. Their expertise in bronze casting led to the creation of intricate weapons, tools, and ceremonial vessels. These bronze artifacts not only demonstrate their technological advancements, but also their artistic achievements. Their new ideas about farming, fighting, and how people lived together created the foundation for the kingdoms that came after them. The Shang Dynasty's innovations in agriculture improved food production and supported population growth. Their military strategies and advancements in weaponry set the stage for future conflicts and defenses. The way they organized their society influenced the social structures of subsequent Chinese dynasties. Their story is a big part of being Chinese. The legacy of the Shang Dynasty is evident in the cultural and historical narratives of China. Their contributions to Chinese civilization are celebrated and remembered through various heritage sites and historical records. Understanding the Shang Dynasty helps us appreciate the rich tapestry of Chinese history and the enduring impact of their innovations and ideas. Deep inside the Shang Dynasty's royal records, something happened that would be important for thousands of years, telling the future with oracle bones. These pieces of history, often burned and with writing on them, show us what the Shang people were thinking. Imagine a flickering fire lighting up the faces of Shang fortune tellers as they carefully touch hot sticks to these bones, making them crack. They believed these cracks were messages from their ancestors. Every crack, every mark, was really important. Would the crops be good? Would the king's army win the battle? These questions, written on the bones, show us a group of people who believed in spirits. They give us lists of kings, stories of battles, and details about everyday life, showing us how the Shang lived. The Shang Dynasty wasn't just about magic. It was a time of amazing inventions in art, especially making things from bronze. This period, which lasted from around 1600 to 1046 BCE, saw the Shang people mastering the art of bronze casting, creating objects that were not only functional but also incredibly beautiful. Their bronze work was so advanced that it set the standard for future generations. They were really good at working with metal, better than almost anyone else at the time. The Shang artisans developed sophisticated techniques for smelting and casting bronze, which allowed them to produce a wide variety of items, from everyday tools to elaborate ceremonial vessels. This level of skill was unmatched in the ancient world. Imagine hot, melted bronze being poured into special shapes, the air smelling like metal. The process was labor-intensive and required a high degree of precision. Artisans would create intricate molds, often using clay, into which the molten bronze was poured. Once cooled, these molds would be broken away to reveal the finished product, which was then polished and decorated. This shows how clever the Shang were, where skilled workers made beautiful and useful things. Their craftsmanship wasn't limited to just practical items, they also created stunning works of art. These artifacts often featured complex designs and motifs, including mythical creatures and geometric patterns, which held significant cultural and religious meaning. Huge bronze pots, some big enough to hold hundreds of gallons, were used in important ceremonies, decorated with scary animals and fancy designs. These vessels, known as ding, were often used in rituals to honor ancestors and deities. The elaborate decorations on these pots were not just for show, they conveyed messages of power, spirituality, and the Shang's connection to the divine. These pots weren't just for holding things, they showed power and importance. Owning such a vessel was a status symbol, indicating the owner's high rank and influence within Shang society. The more elaborate the design, the more prestigious the owner. They made weapons, spear points, axe heads, and chariot parts that helped their armies win battles. The Shang military was formidable, in part due to their advanced weaponry. Bronze-tipped spears and axes were more durable and effective than their stone counterparts, giving Shang warriors a significant advantage in combat. Being so good at working with bronze, along with using horse-drawn chariots, changed how wars were fought in ancient China, helping the Shang control more land and become stronger. The introduction of the chariot revolutionized Shang warfare, allowing for greater mobility and strategic flexibility on the battlefield. This combination of technological innovation and military prowess enabled the Shang to establish one of the most powerful and enduring dynasties in ancient Chinese history. The Shang Dynasty, like many kingdoms in the past, had different levels of important people, with the king at the top. He wasn't just the ruler, but also like the main priest, connecting the people to the gods. Below the king were the nobles, a special group of warriors, officials, and landowners who listened to the king. They ran things for the Shang, collecting taxes, keeping things peaceful, and leading armies in battles. Priests were also very important in Shang society. They knew a lot, explained signs from the gods, and led ceremonies to keep the kingdom safe. Skilled workers, especially those who worked with bronze and jade, were also respected. At the bottom were the farmers and laborers, most of the Shang people. Religion was a big part of life in the Shang dynasty, all sorts of beliefs and ceremonies. They really respected their ancestors, the people who had died. The Shang believed their ancestors could still affect the living. They did big ceremonies to make the spirits happy, giving them food and wine. The king, who talked to the spirits for everyone, was very important in these ceremonies, making sure the ancestors were happy. The Shang also believed in a main god called Shang Di, who ruled everything and controlled nature. Telling the future, especially with oracle bones, was a big part of the Shang religion. No kingdom lasts forever. The story of the Shang dynasty is a testament to this timeless truth. Around 1100 BCE, the once powerful Shang dynasty, weakened by fighting within the kingdom and problems from outside, started to fall apart. The internal strife was marked by power struggles and corruption, which eroded the very foundation of the dynasty. Spending lots of money on ceremonies, tombs, and wars used up all the king's money, and bad things happening in the government made the kingdom weaker. The lavish ceremonies and grand tombs, meant to display the king's power, ironically drained the kingdom's resources. The king wasn't as powerful anymore. His inability to manage the kingdom's resources and the growing discontent among the people further diminished his authority. Then, a new problem came from the west, the Zhou people, a strong tribe who didn't like the Shang. The Zhou had been watching the Shang's decline and saw an opportunity to rise. Seeing that the Shang were weak, the Zhou, led by their leader King Wu, decided to attack. King Wu was a strategic and ambitious leader who rallied his people for a decisive confrontation. In 1046 BCE, the Shang and Zhou armies fought a big battle at Muyang, a battle that people still talk about today. This battle was not just a clash of armies, but a turning point in Chinese history. Even though they had more soldiers, the Shang army, sad and divided, couldn't beat the strong Zhou warriors. The morale of the Shang soldiers was low, and their internal divisions made them no match for the united and determined Zhou forces. The fall of the Shang marked the end of an era and the beginning of the Zhou dynasty's rise to power. Thanks for learning about the Shang dynasty with us. The Shang, though gone for a long time, changed Chinese history forever. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more history videos. See you next time, and keep exploring the past.